What is going on, guys, and welcome to the channel. Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you're either struggling with getting up early consistently, or actually being productive when you wake up. Not just going from your bed to sit on your toilet for half an hour, wishing you were back in bed. Now, personally, I've been getting up at or before 6 a.m. for the past 2 to 3 years now, but it's only up until fairly recently that it stopped becoming such a big struggle. In this video, I want to break down 4 or 5 habits that have really transformed my life and help transform yours, so you can become more of a morning person, get that bread, rise and grind, all that good stuff. Remember, guys, these are habits, not tips. In my opinion, tips are just meant to make your life a little bit easier. Habits will actually transform your life and make it better long term. So starting off with the first piece of advice I give you guys is to find your reason. You know, this sounds super dumb, but let me explain. If you have a flight at 5 or 6 a.m., the second your alarm goes off at 2 or 3 a.m., you are flying out of bed, you've got your bags packed, you're ready to go, you're moving, because you know if you miss that flight, it might throw off your entire trip, your entire week. It's gonna be a huge mess. So with that same reasoning, when you have a reason to wake up in the morning, you're gonna fly by that morning, wake up feeling energized, knowing you have something to do that's very important. Back in college, when I was waking up early for the first time, my reason was so I could beat the huge crowd of people at the gym. My college had a very tiny gym, so if I slept in for even half an hour or 45 minutes, and you'd be waiting an extra 20 or 30 minutes at the gym to use any equipment. So I'd highly recommend you guys find a reason to wake up early and internalize it, so when your eyes wake up in the morning, you're not gonna wanna hit that snooze button and go right back to bed. Even if it's just to be more productive in the morning, get more things done, try really hard to remember that and use that to get you out of bed, which I know is a lot easier said than done. Now, the second piece of advice I tell you guys is to be consistent in what time you go to bed and what time you wake up. When you do this thing and when you try to decide, oh, today I'll wake up at 5, tomorrow 5:30, the next day 5:15, then 6, then 7:30, and you keep going back and forth in these times, it's gonna throw your entire body out of loop. And the same thing goes with snoozing or trying to play this whole game of catching up on sleep on the weekends. That just really doesn't work. It's gonna throw your body's circadian rhythm out of loop and really mess with you and make it much harder to wake up consistently. So what I'd say you guys do instead is just find that one solid time to wake up every day and to go to bed every night, including on the weekends. And yes, it won't be 100% perfect. There's obviously gonna be a late night wedding. There's gonna be a very early flight you have to catch, but the more you can stay consistent with it, the much easier it'll be. Once your body gets in that predictable sleep schedule with 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, a positive feedback loop will start coming in, making your mood better, making your stress decrease, making you fall asleep faster, which will make your mood better, which will make your stress. It just keeps going from there, guys. So really pick that time and stay consistent with it. Now, the next piece of advice I have for you guys is to ditch your phone. Imagine this, you're sleeping peacefully throughout the night, morning's coming, and all of a sudden, bam, your phone alarm starts blaring at 6 a.m. There's probably no worse way to wake up than with your phone's alarm. It's become so normalized, which I really hate. What you guys want to do instead is to wake up gradually, like on the weekends when the light's rolling in through the windows and you're nice and comfy, and that's the best way to start out the day. Recommend you guys grab is something called a sunrise alarm clock. Now, I made an entire video on this, so I recommend you guys check out, I'll have linked below in the description. But it's just a device that's circular that gradually gets brighter and brighter and brighter as it's time for you to wake up. So if I have mine set for 5:50 in the morning every morning, for example, at 5:30 or 5:10, whenever I have it programmed, usually goes in half an hour, 45 minute and 1 hour intervals. It'll start getting a little bit brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And I'll normally find myself waking up about 5 to 10 minutes before my alarm goes off. A few minutes, just relax and stretch in bed, and then I can get up. And when that exact time of your alarm is set, then it'll start making noise to get you out of bed in case you haven't woken up already. Amazing device, not sponsored in any way, but I highly recommend you guys grab it, and I'll have it linked below in the description. Definitely check it out. But now you also don't want to use your phone at night or first thing in the morning. At night, your phone's gonna release cortisol, which is a stress hormone, making it much harder for you to actually fall asleep. And on top of that, in the morning, if you wake up and the first thing you see is these bright, colorful notifications from Twitter and your messages, you're gonna wanna stay in bed looking at those instead of actually starting out your morning productively. I recommend you guys actually keep your phone on the far side of the room, and that way you have to actually get out of bed and turn it off if you're using your phone as your alarm. The pro move, which I do, is to have that sunlight alarm clock. That way it'll gradually wake me up, and by the time a few minutes before my alarm goes off, I'll be awake and I can turn off that alarm whenever my time is set, and I can walk over across the room to turn off my phone alarm, and it's just an amazing way to start out the morning. Now, to actually add a tip onto this, I'd say is put a cold glass of water next to your phone. That way, once you've woken up and you go across the room and turn your phone off, when you drink that cold glass of water, it's gonna wake you up way faster than any coffee or caffeine ever could. You'll be starting off your morning right. Me personally, I take cold showers in the morning, which is not something I'd recommend to beginners who are struggling to wake up in the first place. But if you guys are interested in cold showers, I have a video on that as well in my channel page. Now, my next piece of advice to you guys is to actually set up your morning and night routines or lifestyles properly. So at night, you want your room to be a little colder, pretty dark, versus in the morning, you want to turn on as many lights as possible and throw on a hoodie or blast the heating to get warm. The reason for this is your body tends to want to associate sleep when it gets dark out. So if you make your room darker and you also do some things to make it a little colder, your body will stop producing melatonin and want to actually go to bed. Whereas in the morning, you want to get it as bright as possible so your mind knows, hey, it's time to wake up, let's get everything functioning and ready to just kick off this day. Another thing I'd recommend here is to make sure you spend some time in the sunlight during the day. And especially for me as a software engineer and CS major, I spent a lot of time just in my room or in the library where it's a little bit darker and there's not any natural sunlight. This idea is really gonna throw off your body's sleep cycles. It thinks, hey, if it's dark during the day, should I be going to bed? If it's light at night, should I be waking up? So make it a habit to get some sun, go out for a couple walks during your breaks, or try to study in a sunnier spot to really make sure your body's in the right mindset of this time we're awake, this time we're asleep. Now, another tip for you guys in this section is to avoid eating heavy meals or carbs at night. Now, there is science showing that eating carbs or heavy meals helps you fall asleep faster, but that sleep is gonna be a lot more restless because of science. It's just more, I don't even know. I'll have the study link below in the description, but just because of the way it is, when you eat a big meal and you go to bed, your sleep's a lot more restless and not fulfilling. So cut down on those big meals and those heavy carbs at night. And the last piece of advice I'd have for you guys is to associate your bed only with sleep. I'm not sure why this is a thing. A lot of people tend to paint or watch TV or do their schoolwork on their bed. And that's a pretty awful idea because all you're doing is training your body to think that when you're on the bed, it's time to do everything else but go to sleep, where it should be the other way around. You wanna build that strong mental connection so when your body hits the bed, your brain knows, hey, it's time to pass out and nothing else. All right, guys, so those are the pretty simple habits I have for you guys to wake up early, feeling energized, consistently, fall asleep faster, all that good stuff. Now, obviously in this YouTube, if you were to search up other videos on how to wake up early and all that stuff, a lot of advice, a lot of tips pop up. That stuff is more per person. A lot of people tell you to stretch or drink this or do yoga. Again, that's per person, play around with this stuff. I think what I mentioned and outlined in this video are pretty solid, key fundamental things to actually get your body to go and do all that stuff when you hit the bed. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe and check out my other videos if you guys want to learn more about self-improvement, personal finance, college, CS, tech, all that stuff. And yeah, I will see you guys. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys next week for the next video.